Welcome to the Coach's Corner with head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, Coach Matt Griffith, brought to you by Collier Motors Paint and Body, and they have been our sponsor throughout the year on the Coach's Corner. We appreciate Norman, all the folks there. If you need any paint or body work on your automobile, it's Collier Motors Paint and Body. Well, Coach, tough loss to end the Aggie season, playoff hopes last week over at Calera. Man, that thing went down to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we knew it would. I mean, everybody looked at a 42-28 score the week before and don't realize that was a 35-28 game. Calera drove all the way down the field and scored a touchdown, got called back on a penalty, literally got down to the 1 and got called back on a penalty again for throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage. So they turn it over on downs, and we're running the clock out on a 35-28 game when Deshaun busted it. So the score was misleading. That thing came down to the wire the week before. We knew it was going to come down to the wire that week, and we're 1 point short. Yeah. I mean, we had our opportunities, and we had an opportunity at the end. I thought our kids did a great job of battling. I mean, they scored and went up 35-34 with 39 seconds. And with 5 seconds, we're on the 33-yard line. We kick a 47-yard field goal. It would have been good from 55 yards. He hit it so good. And, it's just a little wide right, what the officials say. So we just came up a little short.
Well, Sylacauga with 8 wins on the season, and what a fantastic group of seniors. I think it was 23 of them.
Yeah, I've not hid the fact it's been a great group of seniors. I think we told they've won 30 or 31 ball games over the last 4 years. They've averaged almost 8 wins a year over their 4 years, and that they've been a great group, not just because of winning, but because of the way they act, the way they carry themselves, the leadership that they have done. They've done it since the 9th grade, so they've been one of the most enjoyable groups to coach. And listen, you win ball games so that you get to stay at a place and coach a long time. But you don't coach for the wins. You coach so that you can have groups of kids like that make going to practice enjoyable, that make coming to work enjoyable. And those are the things that I'm going to remember about this group of kids. They made football a lot of fun for a lot of people.
Yeah, and Coach Griffith and I have been doing this show for 12 years since he's been at Sylacauga High School. And you've always said, there are special groups of young men, and this certainly is one of them.
It is. I'm going to miss them. I think our school's going to miss them. But I tell you, when one group goes, another group has to take their place, whether they'll be as good a group or whether they'll lead as good a group as that. We don't know. We try to teach them leadership. But, you go in there Monday after a loss and you clean out all the lockers. You move your 9th graders out of a 9th grade locker room. You move them into the locker room. And, today we get back in the weight room. It never ends to try to build another football team. And that's tough on a group of seniors. Matter of fact, I've gotten over the last 5 or 6 years that we meet kind of privately with them to let them know, okay, we understand. But they've had a locker for 4 years in there, and then all of a sudden, coach is in there in the weight room with somebody else, and I'm not there. So, but it's opportunities for other ones. You kind of switch hats now. If you didn't get to see the open night at the gym the other night, that was fantastic. That was just so impressive, watching all our programs in basketball.
A lot of people were there.
Oh, it was. And 2 beautiful gyms now. They started construction yesterday or day before on the irrigation over the baseball field. You're going to see by next December that we, across the board, sports-wise, we're fixing to have as good a facilities as anybody.
Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, our guest this morning on the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Collier Motors Paint and Body. Let's get back to Friday night's game just a minute. There was a point in that game where you became very animated, and a timeout was called, and you were discussing your thoughts with the official. What was that about?
Well, that was just, I just thought he needed to tighten it up. I thought he needed to tighten up his calls of the game, tighten up sportsmanship, tighten it up, warn our kids, warn their kids. And if you'll run a tight ship, you're not going to have a lot of problems. And, it didn't. He heard me, he listened, and that was it. And so, I don't have a whole lot to say about the calls or those referees or anything else. They call it. It's a tough job. They call it like they see it. They do the best they can.
You had some guys that really put it on the line Friday night.
Yeah, I thought so. We got down 21-7, and we're fixed to be in a situation that, okay, I'm in the back of your mind as a coach, you're always thinking, okay, are they ready for it to be over? Did we come in here and lay an egg? They didn't do that. We scored right before half, and then we came out at halftime and tied it up, and it started going back and forth like the first game. And, we go up 34-28 with 4 minutes left to go in the game. We're really just, okay, we need to stop. If we get one stop, game's over. And they just had a lot of skill. They're
a great athletic team.
Yeah, they put their skill in space. They did a better job of putting their skill in space than they did the week before. They played the other quarterback the entire time that throws better. And, we just, it is what it is when it went all the way down. And when they scored, I don't know many teams with 39 seconds left that can move the ball 40, 50, 60 yards that quick and give themselves a chance to win. That's a tribute to the group of kids, but we've been playing together for a long time.
A young man who's waiting in the wings as a star student of the month, Jackson Walker. He's one of those seniors that you're certainly going to miss.
Oh, yeah. Jackson has done such a good job since, people don't remember that Jordan Daniel was our quarterback, and we were 3-0 going into a Beauregard game, and he goes down the second quarter, or I think the third quarter, with a torn AC. And Jackson was just a 10th grader, had not had a lot of reps at practice, and came in. And from his sophomore on, he's been the quarterback, and he's been fantastic. He just managing the game and managing our offense. He does a really good job of reading the option, and whether that be out of shotgun or under center. And I'm gonna tell you, he'll be missed. He'll be missed.
And Alex Thomason ran like a man possessed.
Yeah, what do you say about Alex? He finished the year with 239 carries and 2,002 yards. He's only the second running back in school history to rush for 2,000 yards. We really feel that if I hadn't held him out, and I needed to, but if we hadn't held him out game 10, and we hadn't held him out the whole third quarter of Cleveland County, and we get to this second round, he probably breaks the record. Just a warrior, just as tough a kid as I've ever coached. He'll have an opportunity to play on the next level, and anybody that signs him is going to be a good one. They're going to get a good one.
Offensive line, seasoned group of guys that have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, the biggest thing going into next year is we'll probably miss those guys, and there's no doubt it's hard to replace a 3-year starter at quarterback and a 3-year starter at running back. But we've got some skilled guys that we think can be very good with a lot of practice. The biggest replacement is replacing those interior linemen. We lose every lineman plus the tight end but one kid. All that's got to be replaced. So and it's different. You have to take offensive linemen and gel them together as a unit. So that's where our work is cut out for us in the offseason and in spring training.
Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, joining us this morning. And Sylacauga's season ended with a loss to Calera last Friday night. And some final thoughts with the coach this morning. It was a fantastic season. A lot of people contributed, and I know you want to take this opportunity to thank the fans for supporting this program.
I'm telling you, they did exactly what I told them. If they showed up with more fans than Calera had, we'd probably win the ball game, and we did. The one thing about Sylacauga is but we have a huge reputation of our people traveling well, huge support for all our athletics. And if you don't believe that, come to a home game and see how many folks are at a home game. Then come to a home basketball game. Come to a home baseball game. And what I love about Sylacauga is it's not just one sport. When that sport's in session, they're as hard as they can go for that sport, and then we just switch gears and go to the next sport. That's a lot of fun. I would be miserable to be at a school that only won in one sport and not win in the sports that we do. Our folks are great. Hats off to our booster club. We got about 10 or 15 people in the booster club that do everything, that do everything. And then they switch gears. Most of them are in the baseball booster clubs, or they're in the soccer booster club, and they do everything. And it's priceless what they do for the kids. And
a new stadium basically at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga, and that's been a big plus as well. You got to play a lot of young guys in the season. Who are some of the guys that you're looking at to kind of for the mantle to drop on them for the next season?
Well, you know, the one good thing about sitting Alex is that you discovered that we could move a Tashawn Looney to be back and be very good offensively. And you know, Tashawn will have to he'll be one of the main backs next year. You know, the biggest thing is you know, can Dalen Key take over the mantle of quarterback? He's a very athletic kid. He throws the ball very well. He'll be a junior next year. You know, I think you'll see our offense kind of evolve a little bit more because we've got Bailey Ward's back at a receiver. Brady Davis is coming. DeMarco Campbell's coming. We've got a kid named Marquinnis Taylor that's going to be an outstanding receiver. We've got to get the ball out in space a little more than what we've been doing and not rely on that heavy run game. Still have that heavy run game, but get the ball out there. And those are the guys that's got to step up. You know, defensively, we lost a lot of front. Derek Carter will be very, very hard to replace. Well, you know, it is all about next year is the O-line and D-line and those replacements. I think everywhere else we've got enough components to be very, very good.
It was a disappointing end of the season, but overall it was a wonderful season for Sylacauga. Finished 8-3, and Coach, thank you for being a part of the show this year, and we'll look forward to again next fall.
All right, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, more Daybreak just ahead. Our Star Student of the Month coming up after this.